Hello, my wonderful people. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. So I'm going to dive right in. These are little snippets of really powerful condensed education in just short bursts of video. I want to start off by talking about the self-sabotage. I never talked about this. This is a topic that happens. This is the topic where we're like, I wanted to meal plan and then I forgot. So I went to the grocery store, bought a bunch of ingredients. I don't have what I need to make a certain meal. I'm frustrated. And then all of a sudden you end up ordering pizza, right? So I want to talk a little bit about self-sabotage. So I made this cute little presentation and I'm going to share my screen now. And here we are, both in the sabotage realm, but I named it the procrastination protocol and overcoming your negative self-talk. This is super quick, but this is kind of the missing link, the bridge between how to get yourself to overcome that procrastination that happens when it was time to do the meal plan and you got distracted, or you said you do it tomorrow and then you ended up that one event that was scheduled kind of snowballed into this disaster of now ordering pizza when you should be eating healthy, right? That's kind of where we're at. It's just one example. You can use this little protocol for many other things. Okay, what will you do when you try to sabotage yourself? Okay, so here's what happens, right? We all do it. We schedule and love the idea of organization and systems in health, and we fail to put them into action. So we all want a meal plan, like I just said. We want to meal prep. We want to work out. We want to just have it all laid out beautifully. But our brains, they simply want to resist anything that you put into its field that is new. This is normal, okay? Everybody goes through it. It's like some of you guys are probably like, wow, you're reading my mind. The reason that I'm reading your mind is because I've been self-sabotaged this way. I've heard my coworkers be self-sabotaged this way. I've heard this talk over and over again in clients. And so this is completely normal, okay? And what is old is what is safe to our brain. So anything new could be dangerous, and anything dangerous puts us into resistance, right? So just always remember that everything new will have some sort of discomfort with it. So what I'm going to tell you is not a magic recipe, is that it's really time to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I'm going to share a couple tips though to get you through it. So it's really important. The first thing is just to bring awareness to calling out our own narrative. How do we even realize we're in our own heads and telling ourselves the story? Right? Because the story that we tell ourselves, we believe is true, whether it is or not, doesn't matter. But we can pivot and shift and create new neural pathways around this. We don't have to make it complicated. The most important thing is actually to keep it simple. It's just being aware that's going to happen, right? So one of the biggest tips to do so, or to get into this new state of well-being, or this new system, or this new strategy in any endeavor, but specifically we're going to be talking about well-being here, is to write a weekly and daily plan, okay, and stick to it no matter what. Now, guys, I'm going to be doing a video on how to kind of time block and what that looks like for me, and it's going to be probably super helpful for you guys just to understand that. And many of you guys are going to like love it, love the idea of it, but putting it into action is always going to be the problem. So the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. This is one of my favorite quotes. I see it often, it's come up. But in order to live out the beauty of our dreams, as great as that is to say, is that you have to actually do the actions that will get you there, these micro actions. And so when you make this beautiful schedule and you audit the schedule, which we're going to talk about in a minute, you're going to see that there's so many things that can happen to sabotage, most of it ourselves. So there's really only two key questions that I'm going to leave you guys with. So make a point to write them down, screenshot this, whatever it is, but journal on this in the morning, every single day. And then every single Friday or Sunday, evaluate your week and ask yourself these again, because by then you will have an idea of what is sabotaging you. And so, what is going to sabotage my success? So, explore that. Is it a person or persons? Is it kids? Is it junk food in the house? Is it constantly checking social media where you get distracted and you don't do the meal plan? Is it getting distracted by other priorities that seem to take more important precedence? Then once you've called it out for what it is and seen the distractions, and a good way to do that is to inventory what didn't work last week. What stopped me from doing this thing I wanted to do so badly? What was the factor? And see if it's a consistent factor for many other things. And then the second question, which is pretty much the most important question, is how do I acknowledge it and overcome it? How do I call it out for what it is? Once you've determined the sabotage, we can either alter our schedules, because if it's something that is, for example, if it's you're doing meal plan day on Tuesdays like I do, and Tuesdays happens to be the kids' basketball, or it's like this consistent thing that is every single Tuesday, and you're trying to double schedule yourself, you know that that's not going to work. Obviously, then the schedule needs to change. Okay. And then the next thing that we're going to talk about is then how can I flex my no muscle more? How can I actually practice setting very, very powerful boundaries around my time or this very important action? It's important for us to stop being the martyr. So I hope that helps you guys out. Very short, very sweet, to the point. This is really where I'm going to drill and talk about it a little bit more. Is we're going to talk about reversing our procrastination brain. So what our options are. Let's talk about the options of what happens when we're procrastinating, right? So we can remain the same. We can keep missing meal plan day, or we can keep getting interrupted, or keep doing screen time. And often this will lead us to talk, we're going to talk ourselves into doing it later, equals never doing it, equals no growth, no change, simply living day by day in the motions and often chaos of overwhelm, where we end up habitually sabotaging ourselves and feeling down about it. Or we can create a new plan and we can stick to it. And we can make the plan. We can expect dread each step of the way, okay, that it's going to be new. And we can do it anyways. We can just like accept that, yeah, okay, it's new, it's resistant. I'm calling it out for what it is. Maybe I don't feel like doing videos because my hair is not done, but hey, it's tied up, right? Like, so today was my video day. I'm going to do it. And that is that. So that's how I look at it too. If it's scheduled, it's going to get done. The outcome will be thriving, growing, and ultimate well-being. Please don't wait to come into flow all the time, even though it's great to be, if you can have flow and your habits, that's a great, beautiful thing and space to live in. The problem is that if you're waiting for flow to get well, the one kind of, it's like the chicken or the egg, one kind of promotes the other. So you kind of actually have to do the uncomfortable things first outside of flow for it to actually start to flow in this nice system. Okay, so again, calling yourself out creates empowerment. Just drilling this in, one last slide, one last way, is make the plan. Schedule your success. Time block. Video coming soon, guys. That's going to be our next topic. Expect dread and resistance, even though it's not hard. But the actions you're trying to take, no matter what they are, they're not really hard, right? Meal planning, yeah, it might take you an hour the first time, but you get really good at it, and then it's super simple. But that first couple times is going to feel awkward and uncomfortable, so we avoid it. The brain says no. So see it for what it is and call it out. Say, oh, okay, well, I don't really feel like doing that. I'd rather, check my social media for 20 minutes, which, or an hour, and that would be the whole time. And then I could just do this later. No, call it out for what it is and do it anyways. You could say, okay, I'm seeing that thought pattern happen in my head, but I'm going to laugh at myself and I'm going to do it anyways. I watched a really great talk about it and making it seem so simple, light, and airy. And it's actually really just that simple. Keep it simple. And then acknowledge your self-talk and do it anyways, guys. Tell yourself, okay, right? I'm going to do it anyways. Don't wait for the flow, okay? Even though the flow will come, it's part of the process, and every single new action, again, that you will do will feel uncomfortable. So we're going to just kind of lastly wrap it all up here. Tips to stay on course to your well-being goals. Give yourself grace. Okay, so these are just a couple tips to bring it all home. So write it out. Remember the journal prompts at the beginning. Write it out, your pivot and shift plan in a journal daily. Use alarms. Do hourly to 3-hour check-ins for negative self-talk to pivot and shift out of them. This is such a powerful practice where when the alarm comes in, and I've actually started using a different system where the alarm pops up with some inspirational words that come 3 times a day for me. So 9:30, 11:45, and right before bed. And this allows me to check in, like, am I in a negative zone? Do I feel good? Am I using my gratitude? Because I'm someone who I'm choosing to live in gratitude. It's not something that everyone just does naturally. Sometimes we have to be taught and self-taught to do it. And then stick to the schedule, keep your schedule near you always, and set time block alarms to stay on track. So if you have a 90-minute time block to do whatever X, Y, and Z action, then set a timer for 90 minutes so that you can move to your next action. Don't overschedule yourself, leave lots of space and grace, but note that these are going to be really powerful practices to help you stay out of sabotage and out of procrastination and into growth and change. So for example, in the detox where we talk about this and where I could see this bridge happening is people can get through weeks 1 and weeks 2 and weeks 3, or weeks usually 1 and 2. And then on week 2 and 3, they start to like falter and they get into their own heads and they were like, well, week 1 worked, but we just can't keep this sustainably going. Where you just have to have the inventory and take the time to do it. You have to do it. You have to just say, okay, so I don't feel like getting up this morning to do my meal plan. I'm going to do it anyways. Okay. It's just one of those things. So I hope that this gives you guys some tips. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure to reply and let me know. And if you guys want more videos like this, just make sure to reach out and give me some ideas of things you would like.